Among driving cars for ridiculous amounts of hours behind the wheel, these guys also found some time to do some more activity for 24 hours.
We did.
Tell us a little bit about this interesting race you just attended.
Yeah, it was super fun. Last weekend, there was 4 of us, Andy Lally, Mike Simon, Michael Donito, and myself, did a 24-hour mountain bike race in West Virginia. It's called the Big Bear 24-hour mountain bike race. Super fun. I've done a lot of stuff in my life. That's probably the 40th best thing I've ever done. Being able to run with Andy was awesome. I mean, we're here at TRG as well, running great Porsches. We were doing great this weekend here at Mid-Ohio, but really the most fun I've had in a long time is running with these guys last weekend at the 24-hour race.
Okay, I have to ask you one thing though. Are you crazy?
Yeah,
Riding a mountain bike for 24 hours, to me, I mean, maybe I'm a little lazy, maybe I'm not in the shape I should be in, but to me, dodging tree branches and falling off and eating dirt, not necessarily the same kind of experience. Andy, what kind of obstacles were you facing while you were out there?
It was every kind of obstacle nature could throw at you. It was everything from rain to rocks to branches to ruts to shadows at night that you weren't sure what was around the corner to trees, tall grass, and crossing streams, huge crazy downhills. But just like Craig said, it was one of those life adventure things where we were able to go out. I had zero really expectations for how we were going to do, and we ended up at the top and we won the thing, which was just absolutely unheard of going into the weekend for me. I just wanted to finish top 10 out of the 32 guys we had in our class, and we all did one lap each, came back, looked at timing and scoring, like, wow, we've got a shot at this thing. And it was like, it turned a little bit from just a relaxing, fun, cool life accomplishment weekend to finishing this 24 to what. Now we're in this thing, and now we got to turn it up, and now we got to do this and stay at the front here. So that was a blast. Being out at 1 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the woods with a little flashlight on your helmet and nobody else around you is, one, you're exhausted at that point, but two, it's a very peaceful, chilled out kind of atmosphere, and that's what the whole weekend was for it. It was great to share it with my buddies, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay, so now the correlation to an endurance event and your fitness like that, now bring that back to the race car and running the Porsches here with TRG in GT. What similarities in your training and also doing an event like that, how does that, tell our viewers how they're really going to understand what really helps you when you're doing events like that to help you in the race car?
Well, there really are similarities. I mean, we approached it, I know I did, and I'm sure Andy did, by his outcome. Exactly the same way as we would do a 24-hour race like at Daytona or whatnot. No different. Maybe we're putting a little bit more, we're burning some more calories per hour, obviously, because we're right on kill, every lap. An hour and a half full on your bike, up and down. You're always in problem-solving mode, and you're in a fitness arena. Now, these are super, fast cars, and it is physical. We're doing it a little bit more physically on the bike. However, the approach of doing your stint, getting out of the car, kind of rebuilding yourself, regenerating your body, and getting back in and doing the same lap times. It's the same process as the 24-hour race, or mountain bike, as well as the cars here.
Yeah, we come in, and I have a checklist, and the checklist is very similar to when I got out of the car at Daytona at 2 o'clock in the morning. You come in, and you've been there. You get out, and you're groggy. You just ran a whole bunch. The adrenaline is just starting to come down, and you've got X amount of time off, and you have to make the most of it to, one, get rest, and then refuel. So we come in, and when you get off an hour and a half or an hour 40 minutes pounding as hard as you can on the bike, you roll into your pit lane, and you come in. I got my checklist for my bike, what I got to do, and then my recovery drink, and then my rest, a little bit of rest, and while I'm resting, I get a big pasta meal in, and you recarb and get everything in that you need, and then you just try and close your eyes for a little bit. And then as you wake back up, you wake up a certain amount of time before you're either going to get in the car or get back on the bike, and it's almost the same exact window.
It is.
And you go through the same exact kind of routine of like getting yourself back up, stretching, getting ready, and getting a roll. So I think that, us going, it was my first ever 24-hour mountain bike race. I had done a 6-hour solo before and some other long-distance stuff, but never 24 hours. But running the 24-hour mountain bike race was very similar to running a 24-hour race, and I had an edge on a lot of the other kind of rookies that were there just because the mentality that we've gone through doing it, it's second nature.
Yeah, Andy did real well because of the history of all the 24-hour races he's done. He jumped in like I knew he would, attacked each lap, rebuilt himself, replenished all of his body, got ready for the next stint, went out there and killed it again, and he did a really good job.
This guy's a machine out there. This guy's an absolute machine out there. He's riding the wrong bike for 24 hours and was still killing it. And so it was cool to have guys, and like all my teammates were more experienced. I think a little more experienced rider. All those guys were more experienced riders than I was. I've just been getting to get into the mountain bike and looking to Craig for some advice, and it was cool to have to step up to try and get to their level and run that for 24 hours. So it was a lot of fun because these guys were helping me out a lot.
Well, that's great, and congratulations to you guys. Obviously, two stellar athletes, both behind the steering wheel and behind handlebars. And now, one more last question for you. Let's talk about this weekend. We're here at Mid-Ohio. Last year, we had torrential downpours. Already, we've got a wet weekend starting. What are the expectations and the point status where you guys are with the championship so far?
For the 65 car, we've got a really interesting dynamics with us. Is now we have, because of things that occurred politically, John Potter is more involved with the 65 team, so we have more of a say of what occurs, and so we're actually really optimistic on the 65 team with John Potter and myself. The guys are really on it. We've made some improvements this week. The brakes are really, really good. I'm really excited about how they work in the rain as well as how they're going to work in the dry. It's going to be an interesting mix of rain and dry conditions here this weekend. So the setup is not going to be really compromised, but we want to have a setup that will go quick to dry and also to rain. The track here is really, the elements here on the track are very, they're tricky because we have some patches that have like a sealer, as you well know. And so you've got a really fine grip where there's no grip, and really keep up a good mean average as well.
Absolutely. Andy, your comments with your car?
Same thing. We're building around a wet or dry setup right now. We're not really going one direction or the other. Our Rolex car was very good in the wet this morning when it was full wet, and not so much in the drying conditions, but still pretty decent. And I'm racing Coney as well this weekend, and that car was very good in the dry, and we'll see how it is in the wet conditions. I think our guys are going to be qualifying wet, so who knows? We'll see.
I think so too.
But I love this place. I love Mid-Ohio. It's my second favorite track and my second most successful track, and I just love coming here. It's always great racing here, and it's always a good time.
Yep.
Definitely one of my favorite tracks as well. And well, there you have it, folks. Andy Lally and Craig Stanton. I'm off to go get behind the wheel myself and enjoy some success along with these guys.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time.